And I want to say good morning to Trent Scott, Senior Vice President of Communications, the Tennessee Electric Cooperative. And Trent, I wanted to have you on again. We spoke to you a couple of days ago, and your cooperative does not represent Nashville Electric. Now, I don't know if you've seen the story, heard the news, but there are some accusations that NES, number one, does not have enough front linemen to get power on so quickly in the city of Nashville. That's number one. And the accusation is that they did not want to hire union workers. Now, I wanted to have you on because you're somebody that is going to, in my opinion, call more balls and strikes on this accusation. We're a couple of days from the brunt of this storm. We do still have in Nashville over 100,000 people without power. Based on the intensity of this storm, is it reasonable or unreasonable to believe that we should not have that many people still without power in the city of Nashville?
Hey, Dan, good morning. So obviously, Electric Co-op Association, we do not, I can't speak for NES, but I can talk about the electric co-ops across the state. We represent about 72% of the state of Tennessee. Most of your rural and suburban areas of the state. And so we have 25 co-ops, including in the Nashville region, Middle Tennessee Electric, Tri-County Electric, Cumberland Electric. And so, it's been all hands on deck for us to get the power back on. We are approaching this with a sense of urgency and know the challenges that having power off, especially during cold weather for an extended period of time, that's a problem. And we're approaching it with a sense of urgency and trying to get everyone back on as quickly as we can. I can say that for the co-ops, we've said that this is a historic storm, and we're approaching it with a historic response. And so we've got more than 1,000 additional line workers from co-ops in Tennessee, as well as Arkansas, Georgia, and Florida, who are coming into those areas that have had the most damage and working to get things back on. And, it's our largest mutual aid response in at least 20 years. Co-ops have a reputation for being some of the first to respond. Tennessee co-ops have a reputation for being some of the first to respond when a call goes out for help. We routinely send crews to the coast following hurricanes and that kind of thing. And so we're calling in a lot of favors this week.
Yeah, I bet. Talk about, because I find this interesting, actually, the agreements that you have with different states to borrow linemen. I mean, we I guess, get linemen from other states. And as you just said, we also send linemen to other states as well. When it comes to staging, we're talking about this earlier. From what I understood, that we had some linemen that were staged in North Carolina. And I'm curious to know, why would they not be staged in Nashville? Like, if they're staged in North Carolina waiting for the storm to depart before they come into the state, would it make more sense, and maybe they already do this, but would it make more sense to have them staged in Nashville so that they're like ready immediately to go out and get the power back on?
Sure. And, it's reasonable to expect preparation for something like this. This was a well-forecast storm. We knew for a week that it was coming. One of the challenges, particularly with this event, was its scope. So this event, it impacted parts of a dozen or more states. And so where normally we might reach out to Alabama or Kentucky or Arkansas and say, hey, can you have some crews, send some crews our way? We know we're going to have some damage. In this case, those states were under the gun too. And, no one is going to start sending their crews somewhere else until this storm has passed and they know what damage they have in their own areas. And so that certainly made getting crews staged ahead of time a real challenge.
One of the things I find this interesting is there's a lot of talk about unions and all of this other thing. But, the reality is that the job of a lineman, I mean, it's very dangerous. And there's a lot of people that do it, obviously. And as I said, there's different unions and so forth. But, the people that work as linemen, whether they are coming from Alabama or North Carolina, I think, assuming there's a bit of a brotherhood and a sisterhood, if you will, of people that do this job, correct? And everybody's sort of looking out for each other?
100%. It is routinely ranked as one of the 10 most dangerous jobs in the United States. And that danger only grows when you're in a storm like this. And these guys have been pulling, or these teams have been pulling, 16-hour days, multiple days straight. They're tired. They may be working in a system where they're not as familiar with that system as they are their own system. So there's a lot of challenges, particularly from a safety standpoint, that you have to take into account when you are bringing, additional crews into an area and going through one of these long-haul restoration processes like this. Obviously, we want to get the lights on. But more importantly, we want to keep the public safe and keep our crews safe.
What is the ideal number of linemen? Let's just focus on Nashville because that's what everybody's talking about right now. We've got, I think we talked earlier, about 110,000 still without power in Nashville. And so it seems to me like, I'm just a layman, obviously, but, we had over 300,000. That is now down to 110,000. For a job like this, is there an ideal number of linemen for a job like this? And is it fair to say, look, the power isn't on, so clearly they don't have enough people working?
I totally get why you would think that. It seems like a problem where put some more people on it and the power gets on quicker. That makes sense until you get into the logistics of it. And this, like we just discussed, this is dangerous work. And at some point, you reach saturation where additional line workers, particularly line workers from somewhere else who don't understand the system and how it works, there's only so many of those that you can take and keep things safe. Every decision, every operation that's made on the line, that has to be coordinated, it has to be planned. And the last thing that you want happening is a crew working somewhere and another crew coming in and, turning that part of the grid on and hurting someone. So it's not quite as simple as just, hey, let's throw some more people at this and we'll get the power on faster. At some point, you get to where more people, it just doesn't help.
I find it interesting. A lot of people are talking about the dynamic of the various unions involved here. I guess you've got IBW, you've got non-union employees, you've got SEIU unions as well. Does that cause a bit of a complicated dynamic within this conversation about how NES is not, wanting to bring in, people from a particular union to get the power back on?
Dan, like I said, I can't speak for NES. I do know that for our co-ops are unique. They're rural, they're suburban, and it is more efficient when we work with other co-ops because we're talking about line workers who also understand how those rural systems work. There's a lot of commonality. We build things at a certain standard so that crews from other co-ops can come in and they understand how our systems work. So there's some familiarity that is important in a situation like this, and so that's why having crews who understand how a co-op operates, there's some real value there. And so that's what we've been trying to focus on, is getting other co-op crews to come in who understand how rural co-ops operate.
All right. Trent Scott, Senior VP of Communications at Tennessee Electric Cooperatives. Thank you very much for joining us here on Super Talk. I got to cut this short because I've got Senator Bill Haggerty on the other line. No offense. So appreciate you joining us here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right. Real quickly, let's find out. Joan, are you there? You want to do traffic real quick, and then I'll get on the phone with Senator Haggerty? Senator, thank you very much for joining us. Boy, there's a lot to talk about. First of all, of course, there is the storm. I actually had Senator Blackburn on earlier, and she, at her home here in Nashville, is without power. And let's get a status check on you and talk a little bit about the storm that we've been experiencing.
Yeah, same no power. And I think I was over at the Tennessee Emergency Management headquarters yesterday. We've got a lot of counties where we just don't have the data. So my sense is across the state, we're well over 200,000 homes as of last night that still are without power. The crews are working night and day, though. I've been out with the state troopers. They've been doing welfare checks on people, making certain that the folks are elderly, shut in, whatever. They're just going to make certain that they're okay, and if they need to be moved, they've been great about that. So I think all of our listeners just need to know that if they need help, reach out. Troopers have been just great about helping folks all across our state. NES has got crews out. There are other crews from other states that have come in to help them, and it's just, given the size and scope of this, Dan, I mean, over half of the homes without power in Tennessee are in the Davidson County Nashville Electric Service area, and we haven't seen an ice storm like this, and I don't know when.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the story, but there's some accusations against NES that they're not hiring union workers, and they don't have enough people out on the streets trying to get the power on. And again, the accusation is that they're refusing to hire union workers. I don't know if you have any insight on that or not. I mean, it's kind of out of your purview.
Yeah, I don't have any insight on that. But I'll say this. I've been out to NES headquarters. I've met with the pole climbers. These fellows are brave. They're talented, regardless of what their status would be with union or not. I think they've got about 300 of these guys. They actually do rodeos, Dan, where they compete in terms of their ability to climb the poles and do the various things that they do. But these are well-trained, highly trained people, and they go all over the country. So their counterparts are here now trying to help, and it's a dual issue. I understand now we've got, according to Tennessee Emergency Management Director Patrick Sheehan yesterday, he said we've got enough electrical workers, pole workers. Now really the issue is getting vegetation out of the way, and there are so many trees down. NES can't do their job if they can't get to the site. So there's a lot of coordination that's underway, and everything I've seen is that people are working hand in hand, arm in arm, not fighting over jurisdictions. And I think the last thing we ought to be discussing is whether somebody's got a union status or not.
And it's interesting, in Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee, he has signed an executive order allowing TDOT to get into some of those county roads and some of the rural areas to start clearing those roads so that the power companies can get to the power line so that they can get these folks back on. So thank you very much. Let's talk about some politics, if you'd like. Minnesota, of course, I think it's been a minute since you and I spoke. The president has now decided that we are going to try to work more in coordination with the governor for the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and also Mayor Jacob Frey. And it's interesting because that's what President Trump has wanted all along, is to, have some coordination with the, with the folks in Minnesota. So I think this is a welcome situation, but it seems like there's some people that are saying, well, the president is caving to the people on the left. What say you?
Listen, I know that the president wants to see cooperation because we're a living, breathing example of it right here in Tennessee, Dan. You're aware of Operation Memphis Safe that we've been undertaking with 16 federal agencies working arm in arm and hand in hand with the local police officers, the local officials in Memphis, with the state troopers have been there in force. Tennessee Emergency Management's been there. TBI, our investigative state-level group, all of them working in concert, all in the same. You walk into the buildings where the task force is, you can't tell who's working with whom. Nobody's showing their colors. They're just all trying to work together, and the results have been phenomenal out there. Over 5,000 arrests. We've taken some of the worst gang members off the streets. These are some very, very tough folks that are involved in drug traffic, not only in our state, but frankly in the whole region. And you've got the Tren de Agua operating out there. You've got local gangs in Memphis. They're being shut down. And the people from West Tennessee are calling me. They're writing saying, thank you for working so closely with FBI Director Patel, with Attorney General Pam Bondi. I started this process last year with local leadership there in Memphis, and building up a real basis of trust. And what we've seen manifest itself now with this storm is that all of the folks that were out there helping with the crime situation chipped in, and they're helping. Memphis is now secure from a weather standpoint too. So cooperation is absolutely essential. This resistance stuff that Tim Walz was perpetuating, wound up getting people killed. He's putting people in danger. They just did a 287G agreement, which means they would take a criminal who's got a detainer warrant on them. All they need to do is hand them over to the proper federal authorities. They won't do it. They release them into the population and create all of this danger and force crews that are 10 times the size to go in and ferret these people out when all they needed to do in the first place was to just hand them over to the federal authorities.
Well, and
there's a lot of blame here.
You're right, Senator. Now we have the Democrats in the Senate talking about shutting down the government if they can't essentially defund ICE and defund the Border Patrol through DHS. Do you think the government is really going to shut down because the Democrats want to defund these very important agencies?
Well, Chuck Schumer's still stating that's his plan. I know that there have been extensive discussions involving my colleagues in the Senate that are on the Homeland Security Committee. I'm not. The White House is involved in it. They are trying to find a solution. The last thing I think anybody wants to do is defund the agency that has our transportation, the TSA agents in it, FEMA. Think about what's happening here.
Yep.
I've been working with everybody on the ground, with Governor Lee's team and with the White House, to make certain that the emergency declarations are prepared. They're working on it last night here at the state level to quantify what we think we need, and we're going to be right on top of it. But if we don't have any FEMA because it's defunded by the Democrats, that's going to be a huge problem. So it really is short-sighted for them to be doing this. When they're unhappy with the results of an election, they could try to actually come up with policies that people would want to see that would make our nation stronger. Instead, they just want to do this resistance movement, which is wholly destructive.
Well, and it's crazy, too, because, we're talking earlier about this on the show where, the American people, and you know this better than I do, sir, is that American people voted Donald Trump into office based on mass deportation and securing the border. And we do have a lot of this resistance stuff that is going on. And it's like these people on the left, they don't realize that the American people voted for this. And it's almost like an attempt on the left. It's almost like an attempt of mob rule.
Yeah, I was talking with folks at DHS yesterday, and they're talking about how well coordinated these protesters are. They've got resources, they've got NGOs, non-governmental organizations behind them. They've got plenty of money, and they're communicating with each other and organizing this unrest. It's something that we've got to get behind, and not only DHS but the White House are deeply concerned about the elements that are coming in and trying to create this sort of disruption. Again, Memphis is a case study of how to do it right by cooperating. And you've got this disaster that's taken place in the streets of Minneapolis. They seem to want to create and foment this sort of disaster because they think they gain political points on it right now. And that's why I think Schumer, will follow through with his threat to shut down the government if we can't find a procedural way to navigate around him, because it's working for him and his far left base. And that's who he's answering to, not to the American people, but I think it's a clear minority, but a very loud, vocal minority on the left that are pressing to shut everything down, to resist everything, and supporting rioters and people that are here illegally and criminals over law enforcement. It really is hard to justify this.
It's hard to justify, and the mob rule mentality is just. I personally think it's going to sink the Democrats. I know that there's been polling out there that shows that the president is losing independence over some of this stuff. I don't know if I'm buying that, Senator. I think that, and maybe I'm just in my little conservative bubble, but I think the American people, these independents, they've got to see that this is good versus evil, and the insanity that we're seeing in places like Los Angeles and in Minneapolis. This is clearly the evil that are standing up for the evil that has come across our southern border and doing horrible things to Americans.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me, and I'm sure to everybody listening, Dan. These loud voices, where were they when our border was being flooded? Where were they when fentanyl was being pumped into our state, into our nation? Yep. The numbers just in Tennessee, 3,000 deaths a year from drug overdoses coming across that southern border. They kept trying to say there's no problem here, nothing to see, and then they go out and actively engage in the frustration of law enforcement activities. They get between law enforcement and the person who's there, the criminal that they're trying to apprehend. And it's, one, it's incredibly dangerous, but two, it just shows the incredible hypocrisy here of the left, where they are, calling for people's heads now. And look, any death is tragic. I'm not trying to make light of it at all. But where were they when Lake and Riley died? Where were those voices when fentanyl was brought into the country? They were silent. So I think it's time to acknowledge the fact that the vast majority, of voters, certainly in our state, support law and order and clearing this mess up. That's what President Trump promised to do, and that is, I hope, what is going to transpire now if Governor Walz has finally sobered up and said, look, we need to cooperate and stop this craziness.
All right, Senator, good luck with your power. Hopefully it gets on soon, along with everyone else's, and appreciate you checking in.
Thanks, man. God bless.
The way that, Chris is over there, head bobbing, I feel like this is a song that I should know. What is this, Chris?
Is this Cruisin' by Eazy-E?
Is this Cruisin' by Eazy-E? Is that what
Boys
it
in
is?
the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
I should have known that.
Oh, you know what? I got in trouble last night at the house.
What did you do?
Why now?
Well, you know what? It seems to be a common occurrence. So I made the mistake.
Were you complaining about not parking in the garage again?
No. No, Chris, I wasn't. Thank you, though, for bringing that up.
You got it.
Just another reason to, my wife be irritated with me. No, you know what I said? She said, why did you lump, I got to make sure I get this right. Why did you lump Boys to Men and One Direction in the same bucket?
I heard that
Clearly,
yesterday.
Chris, you know that Boys to Men and One Direction, they're not the same. Boys to Men is Motown.
Yes. Well,
Don't you know that?
I mean, not really Motown.
More
like R&B.
Whatever. They're
all
clearly
boy bands.
They're clearly not the same as One Direction.
Definitely not. One Direction's skinny and white. Boys to Men are large and black.
It's true. It's true.
Fact check true.
And I think all the Boys to Men guys are still alive, right?
Oh.
I don't. They're all alive with One Direction, aren't they?
No.
No? Oh.
Zayn fell off a balcony in Brazil.
It happens.
Fell, pushed, whatever.
He was on drugs.
You guys are killing me.
What?
Nothing.
People fall off balconies every day.
Whether
is
it be to
true.
the ground or from a cruise ship into the ocean. It happens.
Anyway, so that's why I got in trouble. So clearly.
So you got a talking to.
Yeah, she was like, why did you do that? Like, I know.
Was that while you were doing your whole lifestyle segment that you then got that wrong and had to be corrected at home?
Probably. I don't know. I get a lot wrong. I find out when I'm at
That was
home.
when, I think that was during the segment that you couldn't remember who you saw at the Orb in Vegas.
Oh, and I had to remind you that it was the Backstreet Boys.
Yes,
Which-
it was.
I just feel like you were lying. I feel like you still got that Backstreet Boys T-shirt at home, and you had the best time, and you didn't forget.
Okay, a couple of things. I did have a great time.
Okay.
You got him.
Going to see the Backstreet Boys at, you called it the Orb. It's not the Orb. It's
The Sphere.
The Sphere. It's
Oh,
the Sphere.
Whatever.
The Orb.
Same thing. It's like Boys to Men in One Direction. People
It's the
mess
same
things
thing.
up.
No, I had a great time. I couldn't tell you the difference between Boys to Men and One Direction, but now that whoever said skinny and white, large and black, okay, well, I get it now. Boys to Men, large and black. But yeah, so I couldn't. If you played me a song by Boys to Men, I probably would not be able to tell you that is Boys to Men.
No.
I couldn't pick him out of an audio lineup, Chris.
It'd be the end of the road for you.
Yes, I got it.
If you could come up with the names of the songs, it'd be One Sweet Day. But I don't think that would happen.
No. You want to keep doing this? You want to keep throwing down some?
You keep messing up these band names, and you're going to have 4 seasons of loneliness.
All right. I've had more than 4 seasons, but moving right along from there.
Doing just fine. That was one more. I had one more to get through. So, I Googled them for the record. Let the record show I had to Google Boys to Men songs.
Are you sure? Because you sounded pretty confident there.
I did sound. It's,
I can see his screen over
little,
his shoulder.
little radio magic.
Is that what that was?
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
So I've got some people calling me a hack. And I've always stated that if I were a hack, I'd be making a lot more money.
Amen.
But I don't know why I'm being called a hack, but I'm talking about the whole, and I'm done with the topic. NAS not hiring union workers. They don't have enough people out on the lines, that whole thing. The super text line is flooded with people that have either worked for or do work for NAS that are saying there's something to that accusation. The accusations were made on social media. Then Fox 17 picked up the story as well. I mean, I find it interesting. I mean, look, we got over 100,000 people still without power in Nashville. And so people are going to be asking the question as to why. And whatever. I mean, all I'm doing is, reporting on this story. And for that, I'm being called a hack. And I don't know why. But whatever.
And
I don't care.
You didn't even go as hard as the internet went. The internet was picking apart the fact that she was the female CEO of NES.
Oh, the female CEO, and that's why
they were blaming diversity hires.
No, I'm not going to say that.
I'm just telling you what the internet said.
All I know is if you could get it on before 2 o'clock today, my brother is threatening to come take a shower at my house, and I would prefer for that not to happen.
Okay. Well, there is that. Well, just, make sure you have some towels for him. That's all I got to do.
Yeah.
Are you,
What's wrong with you?
are you possessive of your shower, Sam?
I'm possessive of my very nice Egyptian cotton towels, yes. It was a wedding present.
Tell him to bring his own.
I was going to say, bring his own towels.
He hasn't been able to do laundry. They don't have anything clean.
Oh.
Go to Walmart, pick up a crappy towel.
That's what I'm going to tell him to do.
Yeah. Go to Walmart, bring your own towel.
You keep your tuchus off of my Egyptian cotton there, Thomas.
People still talk about
the best cotton comes from Giza. Everybody knows it.
Giza.
Oh yeah, that's where you get the dream sheets.
Thank you, Mike.
The basis for Black Sabbath.
Promo code pillow.
Geezer Butler is the basis for Black Sabbath.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
It went right over my head.
Oh yeah, you knew all those Motown songs from One Direction.
It was okay.
What? No.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, Dan. All right. How much throat coat have you had this morning?
Not enough, clearly.
Slippery elm overdose.
All right, moving right along. Why does Dan have large and black on his mind? Stop it, 4460.
jeez.
Stop it.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, so thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
I thought you, honestly, we were talking earlier. I thought that you were going to try to milk it one more day.
Oh, God.
And actually, Joan agreed with me.
Did she?
Yeah, Joan was like,
Of
there's no
course
way
Joan
he's
would
going to try to milk
disparage
this
me.
one more day.
No way.
I thought
No
about
way
it.
he would not.
I thought about it.
I know you thought about it. That's why I was so surprised to see you.
The kids also had another day off of school.
How long are they going to milk it?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? It's going to be February by the time they get back to school.
Oh, yeah. Well, they love it, though.
Yeah. Is Riker still out of school?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was up at midnight. I woke up and he's in there playing his video games. Something happens to kids when they don't have to go to school. They're up all night playing their video games and all that. I was the same way when I was a kid.
Were you?
know? Yeah.
You just up all night playing that Atari?
Yeah, Atari. Yeah, playing Adventure, Pac-Man,
Okay.
Space Invaders and Asteroids, and Centipede.
Could you really play that all night? You wouldn't get
Oh,
bored?
my goodness gracious. Are you kidding? Yes, of course.
It just came like a total storage of like 10 megabytes.
Yeah. It's
Whatever.
It's embarrassing.
Or I'd be watching MTV.
What's that, Dan?
That was more of a teenage thing, I'd imagine.
Regale us of the tales of this MTV.
Yeah. What
I've
is
never
music
heard,
television?
I've never heard of it.
I would spend a lot of time, an inordinate amount of time, watching MTV. I may or may not have had teenage thoughts about Martha Quinn.
Who the heck is Martha Quinn?
Who is Martha
my
Quinn? I'm going to
gosh.
throw something at you.
I'm Googling her.
It was okay. She's fetching. She's
was
one of
really
the
cute.
original MTV VJs.
Yeah.
How do you not know this?
She's
There
like
was- there-
she's
it
like a
was-
6.5.
Who are you?
6.5? Well, I think that by the standards in the 80s, she was hot,
With two
but
T's.
maybe not now. Yeah, with 2 T's.
Were
Well,
there-
you had Martha Quinn. Who is the other one that sounds like she has emphysema now? I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
There was Martha Quinn, and then there was the one that, I mean, she's just sounds horrible. She's a DJ on one of the XM satellite music things. But she was one of the original 4. There's Martha Quinn.
Did you also have it out for Joan Jett, given her haircut when she was on MTV?
No. You know the story
They
about
had
me.
the same hair.
You know about me with the story about Joan Jett, right?
No.
I had the hots for Joan Jett when I was a kid. Oh, my goodness gracious. Only to find out that she plays for the other team. You know, whatever, however you say it.
Oh, she does?
She likes women. Yeah.
Real man believes in conversion therapy.
Not that there's... And let me guess, Sam, you're the man to get Joan Jett to convert to the other side.
No.
You sure about that? Because
no.
You seem pretty confident in
No.
some of the things you say there, Sam. Okay.
Left me
whatever.
a layup there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Very good. Nina Blackwood, thank you.
There you
Nina
go.
Blackwood. Yeah. Downtown Julie Brown. Now we're talking generational MTV. Downtown Julie Brown and Pauly Shore was probably your era, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Did you watch MTV or did you think it was Satanist?
No, I didn't watch MTV much.
We
No?
were VH1.
I did.
VH1.
I did. I was going to say, I did have an affinity for pop-up video on the VH1.
Yes.
Pop-up video was awesome.
Was that when you were stoned? You liked that a lot?
No, I was 11, Dan.
Listen,
Some kids start early.
Thank you, Joan. Some
Yeah.
people start early. Joan started at 10.
I know.
What? I'm sorry. Was that an off-air conversation, Joan? I'm sorry. I'm getting a little punchy because of all the whole union thing and people yelling at me, whatever.
Okay.
All right.
You scared Dan. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, Dan just jumped when Sam played that sound effect. You all right?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
We're
Whatever.
going to need a cardiologist sponsor soon.
Friday Night Videos. Did you ever watch Friday Night Videos? 53, 54. Friday Night Videos. I loved Friday Night Videos. You ever watch that?
No.
I thought Pauly Shore, that whole bit got old like the first time that I saw him on MTV.
I liked Biodome.
Biodome?
You don't remember the Pauly Shore
No.
movie Biodome?
No, you know what? That I got out of MTV, when I basically became an adult.
Oh.
So,
Ooh.
what? No, I'm just saying. Well, okay, MTV stopped playing music videos. So, actually, I could tell you the exact time I stopped watching MTV. The Real World, the first season, I liked The Real World. And then about midway through the first season, I thought, they're all getting like an all-expenses paid trip to wherever it was. It's like, this isn't actually The Real World. And I stopped watching and I never went back. So,
You on that show would be comedy gold.
me on The Real World?
Back when it...
I would like to
Originally
see. I think Chris would be great on a version of like Jersey Shore.
See, I wouldn't work on those shows because I don't drink. And the key points of the producers is to get everybody as liquored up as possible to act outlandish.
Kurt Loder,
Kurt
the
Loder.
news guy. Kurt Loder was the news guy. Turned out to be a flaming liberal, but no big deal.
Is he the one that did the spring break? No. Or is that
No,
someone
he's the news guy.
did the news.
MTV News.
I didn't know they had news.
Yeah, they did news. Well, you're young, Sam. You're young. You're young and naive.
I checked out of that MTV like pretty quickly.
Really?
When they stopped with the
With the videos.
videos, it just
Yeah.
it didn't have a point anymore.
No, you're right. Kind of like the segment.
There's that. There is that.
Sorry. Joan, did you have a crush on an MTV VJ? Now, in your time, there was
In the before times. In the before John.
you had Mark Goodman, and I forget who the other guy was. Alan Hunter.
Yeah, no.
Mark Goodman and Alan Hunter, and there was also what was his name? There's a black guy. I forget his name. He was actually a DJ in Los Angeles, and he was really good too. I liked him. I forget his name. What?
This just makes me laugh.
Okay.
Just the reminiscing without the actual reminiscing part is great. You remember that one guy that we can't remember his name? He was awesome.
Being Somali is not about just eating bananas and rice, but it is eating bananas and rice. That's the vibe I get.
He's going to
from
keep bringing this up.
The
I
bananas and
know.
rice clip was one of the best.
that. It's hilarious.
Okay, can we talk real quickly about? And I like Ted Banger's ball as well, people. Can we talk about the stunning and brave Ilhan Omar and her surviving that attack?
She looked like she was going to square up and fight the guy.
She did.
After she glanced up to give him the look of approval, like, now's the time to squirt me.
Now's the time. It's like a radio person who's waiting for the out cue of a commercial before you jump back on. And then it's like she looked at him like, okay, now is the time. I talked about Christian Ohm.
Yep.
Fired her step down. Come on. Now is your time. And he gets up and he squirts her. Sam thought that it was
all over her.
Sam thought that it was bacon grease.
I've seen that on the internet.
And Amy, oh my God. Joan and I had to
Work wife.
Yes. Joan and I had to explain to Sam that bacon grease, even if you melted it, is too thick for a syringe.
You're talking to the Southerner who's been collecting it since he was 10. So
Yeah, but have you shot it through a syringe lately? No.
I have. I've injected turkey breasts with it. You heat it up and you shoot it into the turkey breast, put it in the smoker.
All right, we got to go.
You're really putting bacon grease in your turkey breast?
We got to go because I got stuff to do.
Is that right?
You going to Starbucks?
No, I've got a commercial to do, and we can't miss any commercials. Don't you know that?
I do.
Okay.
I got a great show coming up.
I get yelled at. Hey, Chris, what's coming up?
We're going to talk about Ilhan Omar. We're going to dive into how she faked this entire attack. And we wonder, we'll ask the hard questions. Why didn't they yell, "This is MAGA country," before they squirted her?
That's exactly right. That's exactly
right.
right.
All that and more.
By the way, wait till you hear Chris is going to tell you all about the dude's family.
Oh, yeah. We did some digs.
We did some digs. All right, Joan, real quick, what's coming up?
We have more on the outages that continue this morning. Also, it's not just linemen that are needed around here. We'll explain coming up at 9 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis for Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee gold medal celebration. You know, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing they could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something just as important, that your internet price is not going to change for 5 years. No contracts and no commitments. So, while your kid is ordering gear online, streaming highlight reels, or video chatting with coaches, your Xfinity price won't budge for 5 years. And who knows, by the time the next Olympic Winter Games rolls around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And by the way, you'll still be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed. Just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That is a $10.99 a month value. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY. Find them online, xfinity.com, or drop into a store today.